Are we live yet? We're live. You're live. I'm live. Let me pinch myself to make sure. Yes, I'm live. What I was saying was that the microcosm, you see, he's the microcosm in the thumbnail, and he's Edward, and he is the, well, I don't know a title, court artist, I imagine, but imperial artist, the imperial creator. That's right. And I am macrocosm because I'm bigger than Edward, and I'm saying that the microcosm controls the macrocosm just as surely as the macrocosm controls the microcosm. And with an artist, if you can't get him out, if he doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning, there's nothing you can do to make him. You have to wait until he needs something. And when he needs something, then you can pants and say, okay, about my portrait or my sculpture or my Sistine Chapel ceiling, I think I can sort out your needs, but you can create my desires. It's just the words coming into my head. I'm not unduly planning this. We're just having a cup of coffee. I met Edward from Romania, or from Romania via Italy, just at the entrance to the Imperial Park, and he was wondering. I thought he was lost, and he. What did you say? You said
that I'm not lost, I'm just undecided.
That's right. He's not lost. He's just undecided. It's probably like many of us now are today, undecided. Undecided voters, undecided husbands, undecided children. Some of the undecided children have yet to be decided, and somebody will have sex tonight, and they won't even decide whether they want a child or not. They'll get an undecided child because they weren't having sex mindfully. They were just being animals, which is reasonable because that's what we all are, animals. Anyway, the title of this is The Art of Life. Edward. Edward is doing a portrait. I haven't even asked for a portrait, at least not from Edward. My portraitist was still in bed when I knocked on his door and invited him to breakfast, and he had all sorts of polite excuses as to why he couldn't actually do. But the very good excuse is I can't live stream yet out in the open air because I need to buy a dongle, probably at the very least, or an iPhone. I could use them both. I'd get an iPhone or a phone, probably a Samsung Galaxy. This is the advert for Samsung Galaxy because Edward needs sponsorship. I can't sponsor him forever, and certainly not if I want a Sistine Chapel ceiling done better. And I think Edward is the man to do that. Do you fancy being on your back I mean, if you're a woman, oops, I can't say that. Ooh, can we edit that bit out a little bit, please? Um, if you're doing the Sistine Chapel ceiling, you'll be on your back with paint dropping in your eye. It must have been a horrible job.
Well,
I know he had apprentices and people. Maybe he never did a single stroke.
no, actually, Michelangelo did quite a lot on the Sixtine Chapel. He stood 4 years to work at it, and at the end of it,
we call it the Sistine.
Sistine.
And you say 16.
16 because
I am
originally
16 going on 17. I think we'll call it the 16 Chapel in future. I must, somebody take a message to the Pope and tell him we're going to rename his chapel the 16 Chapel.
yeah, I was saying that Michelangelo painted it for 4 years. He had a lot of paint in his eyes, and actually by the end of it, it was kind of no. But his back was mal, how to say,
badly formed.
Yeah, badly formed.
He had
after 4
a bad back. Michelangelo had a bad back after working for 4 years. I knew it was a mistake. You shouldn't work, certainly not for 4 years. And But the question is, was he doing it for the money? I think Michelangelo was, because he was a very commercially inclined artist. Because the Pope was always chasing him to finish his work. He's just like a builder. You get a builder, they come, they charm you, they show you their muscles and tattoos, and you think, oh, marvelous, this is the builder for me. And then they come and do a day's work, and you don't see them for 2 months. Ah, what do you need? Coffee. He needs coffee, quick. What we need are waiters. We need more waiters in the world, because then we haven't got to go running after and making our own coffee and things. And the cafe.
Can I add something?
Yes.
About the Sixtine Chapel and Michelangelo.
This is the Sixtine Chapel and Michelangelo. I call it Michelangelo because I'm Michael, but Michelangelo. Michael was a Danish boy who is very, he's in our history, isn't he, Kevin? Kevin and Mikkel were one of the high points of my life. Maybe Kevin will tell you more about that. Maybe not. Yes.
Oh, no. I was just wanted to say that Michelangelo actually hated to do the Sistine Chapel. He was a sculptor after all, and that's what he wanted to do. And he didn't really accept it for the money.
Right.
Money wasn't
for the challenge.
It was the challenge, but it also was a commission by Pope Julius II. It wasn't something that you could refuse. I mean, if as a painter,
of course you
as an
can.
artist,
You can say, I'm terribly sorry, I've broken my arm, and then you
not
break your arm and say,
Italy.
you know, even you can say no to the Pope, or was he one of the Borgia popes, and he would have had Michelangelo killed if he didn't?
No.
Or crush his fingers so he'll never paint again.
No, actually, Michelangelo was one of David.
I'm going to lean back, and here we're going to go a bit more to Eduardo now.
Actually, David was the first piece of propaganda in art or human history.
David was?
David, the sculptor. You know David.
Oh, yes.
David,
he's got sort of slightly wrong proportions. You'd never find a man like that. If you could, can you bring him round, please? Preferably on a bicycle, in bicycle shorts.
That's the thing. The Medici used the art of Michelangelo to promote themselves, to add to their prestige. Michelangelo was a propaganda tool in many ways, and that's maybe why Julius II commissioned him to do all his works.
Do you mind being a propaganda tool?
If it's a propaganda like the Medici did it for their refinement, for the
greatness of the Medici.
The greatness of the Medici, but at the time, you have to imagine that the Medici invented the notion of art as we know it today.
No, the Medici invented the notion of money, I think you'll find.
Even that, but even the notion of art. The first gallery in the world was the Galleria Uffizi, built by the Medici. The Medici were the patrons of Michelangelo. They were the patrons of Leonardo, the one that we spoke before.
Which
be the
Botticelli.
Botticelli, Donatello.
Why do you have a problem remembering Botticelli?
I don't know. I always have.
Is he the?
I always keep in mind his first name also, Sandro.
Sandro. Oh, you're on first name terms with Botticelli, or his art is so inspired you don't believe you could do it yourself. He is your muse. Or
he was a master of his kind, but no, every painter has his own path, like every man has his own destiny.
And I have my destiny to be the Duke Salonia, and you will make it happen for me.
Hopefully.
You see, I always wanted a painting of me with the Isles of Scilly behind. I'm just going to show you the Isles of Scilly. You see? Can you see it? I think it's backwards. There should be the Isles of Scilly, and close up it doesn't work. There you are, in the corner of the map, and then underneath are the Isles of Scilly, and that is my inheritance, and I'm going to claim it for myself and all 7 billion of you. And it'll be mine and it'll be yours, because I will share it, I think, definitely with animals, plants, minerals, and especially crystals, probably the salt crystals. And the sea goes with it, the oceans, everything that's connected to Scilly belongs to Scilly. So all the oceans, probably not the fresh water. So that's the Scilly Great Empire. And then the Scilly Little Empire is everything else. So it's all the land, all the people. You see, an interesting fact about kings is, for example, the Queen of England is the Queen of the land, England. So land, she's the Queen of the land of the Engles or Angles. And the King of the Hellenes used to be Constantine. It's probably, is he dead yet? Somebody find out. Otherwise, it will be King Paul, because I did his wedding. That was the greatest party of my life. I will tell you about it one day. And Princess Michael beckoned me across with a little finger to bring a tray of drinks to her, because she was too royal, and she was right to be too royal to go to my tray, because I was standing a bit back to try and lure her into the room. But Princess Michael will not be lured if she doesn't want to be. And I imagine nothing has changed. She's a real princess. She's my idea of a real princess. Everybody has their own. This is all Julia's decoration, you see. She's a goddess now. She's the principal goddess of the universe. Isn't that weird how that happens? And we bought this in Rhodes, I think. Were we in Rhodes when we bought that? And then there's nothing else much. And then she decorated with grasses and things. It looks good in the background, but if you could see the dust, you'd be truly shocked. That's why I've advertised for a cleaner and an artist in residence. Well, now I have an artist in residence, perhaps, and maybe a cleaner as well. Maybe he's one of those obsessive compulsive persons, but he hasn't turned his nose up at the dust. So I'm in maybe he'll. Do you see? I'm parasiting his genius. That's what I'm doing. And you're parasiting my genius. Can I trouble you for another cigarette? Or maybe I can finish that one first.
I can make you money.
No, I'd rather have yours, because then I have a closer connection to his soul, because there's a physical connection. If you can't get the full service connection, then you can have a sort of. And now I've dropped ash on the floor. It's all right. It turns to dust. We all turn to dust, dust to dust, ash to ash. Do you want to show them what you've done so far?
No, I'll show them at the end.
He wants the finished article. He's too shy to show his working drawings. He wants to keep you in suspense.
Actually, you know, the creating of an image.
I think honestly you should. Otherwise, I won't pay that extra £10. This is bribery and corruption. But he doesn't need the extra. He's got another £10, so his rent is paid for this month. So I have to wait a month before he's desperate to pay the rent again. And then, here we are. Does this even look like me? I can't see it. There we are. You see, I've got I think he's taking, it's rather a bit like Dick Van Dyke. I think I hear my home treatment team at the door. Let's go and get them. I'm going to leave you running just in case anybody's interested in watching. You can talk to the camera and explain how you're painting or why you're painting. Why you're painting.
The thing about an image, and when you create it, or in whatever setup you might be in your life, is that a picture changes with the thoughts of the one who's making it. And that's why I would I would choose not to show it, in the making, mainly because of this.
It was not my home treatment team. It was the wind, or it could have been the ghost of the Wizard of Oz. But I've bought my breakfast box, you see. Can you see it? I have a mango and two donut peaches. Can you see them? Whoops! I'll do it this way. Dates, ginger. This is to make lovely ginger and lime, or lemon. There's a lemon. Ginger and lemon, or ginger and lime drinks. They're very beautiful and good for you. And then here are the two donut peaches. I could use them as eyes. He could put two donut peach eyes in. How do you like that as a concept? You could make me a fruit. You see, the fruit in fruit. We might have to change the name, and that's it. And then there's the mango. It's sort of wrinkled and wizen, a bit like me, but it's really sweet. And there's the name of the supplier, Al, is it, or something? VIP. Oh, it's VIP. I've got it upside down. VIP fruit. So if you Google VIP mangoes, you might get something. I can't be, but no, let's do it and see what happens. I think I'll still be on, even though I'm going into another tab. So don't be alarmed. I'm going to another tab now. And I put in VIP fruit, VIP fruit or mango, 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 return. I've got a Yahoo search. I'm trying to change it to the ones, a mango VIP card. No, VIP private functions, Mango's Wembley. Mango must be the name of a pop band I've never heard of. The VIP Mango Power Home, Facebook. Create a new account. So they need their search engine optimization. Chappy. Malibu Mango Rum. VIP Mango, Barcelona Fashion. Suntan Mango. 50 milliliters, short fill dinner lady VIP. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Mango for sale. Search mango for sale, look up results. I think that's the search engine that they're trying to slip under the radar. Women's clothes, mango. So VIP mango doesn't come up. So let's have a look at the label more closely. Perhaps. You see, VIP isn't much good, is it? You type in VIP. I'm under 18. Oh, it looks like a porn soap. I'm under, I am over. Ah, welcome to VIP electronic cigarettes. Can you pass my vapor there, please? You see? next to the ashtray. That's it. So Dinner Lady Suntan Mango, 50 millilitres, short fill, £14.99. £14.99. That's almost as much as a packet of tobacco. You know what? You know, if it was good for your health, they should give it on the National Health Service, and you get the option of tobacco or vapes. You can probably see me. I'm going to go back so I can see me, and I'm going to vape. Oh no, this is the Mall. Donald Trump and Theresa May hold press conference. Watch live. Well, it's a bit late to watch live because that was yesterday, so I'm sort of watching dead. And I the Spy. I've got I the Spy. Twitter. True I the Spy. True I EYETHESPY. So he's got an amazing thing. He's got these two things I promise to you. One, I am your friend. It will be all right in the end. Oh, I see he's doing poetry. And two, do not fear the mountains climb. Well, if you've got mountains climbing, I would be quite frightened. It depends how big it is. Can you imagine Everest climbing? What would it, Everest climbing the Cairngorms? It would make a bit of a mess of the home counties. As cattle are led into a fertile valley, so the Lord gave his people rest. He led his people and brought honor to his name. Well, that's a bit egotistical, isn't it? He should have brought honor to his people's name, which perhaps he did. Which people could we possibly be talking about? And why didn't he take them all on the journey? This is beautiful, relaxing music. Norway's nature, violin music, flute music, piano music, harp music.
Could I show you something later?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. It's not all about me. It's called soothing relaxation. So if you type into YouTube soothing relaxation, that will probably fix most of your problems. The ones are, here I am. I'm coming back to me now, and Edward, and I'm going to do a vape. It's Jericho gave me this. It's he's so sweet. He's doing AI for brains, and so he hooks up people because he only experiments on live people, not live animals. Well, people are animals, but I don't think he cuts them up and vivisects them. He just puts some electrodes on their head, and then they watch videos, and the computer watches videos, or the AI, and then the computer's supposed to learn how to watch videos from it, I think. Who knows? I'll ask Jericho to explain. I might see him later this afternoon. I'm seeing our Prime Minister and, Tai Chi. I must remember James and Tai Chi, and I must take this along so I can at least give you a little 5 minutes of Tai Chi. What were you saying?
I have many things to say.
When I haven't got a lighter, I can vape, so it's quite handy. Perhaps people should have vapes in their emergency tobacco packs. Over to Edward. Can you teach me Romanian, please?
Of course.
How do you say please?
Te rog.
Te rog?
No. Te.
Te
rog.
Rog. Grog. You've got a bit of a role in that. Grog.
One
And
thing
how
that-
do you say? Sorry, we'll just do the Romanian lesson and get that over with. And how do you say thank you?
Mulțumesc.
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 Mulțumesc. We should have the words come up on the screen if I could actually do any of this editing. And how do you say fuck?
Foot.
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 So if you put your foot in it, you're putting your fuck in it in Romanian. Did you know that? Nor did I. The other Romanians up at the embassy, in the car wash. Oh yes, we're opening a Romanian embassy. It's next to the CAF, the yard, Jackie's yard. I showed you that yesterday, but you didn't see the car wash next to it. It's full of Romanians. And you've got a new Romanian Prime Minister. He's working in the Imperial War Rooms, so that he's in the right place for running the Imperial War. Look, we're going to get a progress report on my portrait. Is it a portrait?
It is. It is.
It is a portrait. May I?
Of course.
Oh, I look very severe. Oh, you need to take the glasses off. He's put glasses on. I don't want glasses on my portrait.
I'm sincere.
Is he fucking crazy?
I wouldn't be as sincere. Not even if you would ask
And
me.
you haven't got the cigarette in my mouth.
Well, I can add it later.
He can add the cigarette later, apparently.
But I refuse to take the glass out.
I
That
look
would
very
be
severe.
insincere.
It's all right. I can burn it later, like Clementine did to the portrait of Winston Churchill.
Well,
but it's too late now. It's out. You've got a copy, you see, so I can never get rid of it, or it would be very difficult. I could have done it myself, and then I could do it without glasses, you see. But now I'm all fuzzy. I can't really see myself very well. So the glasses, I could have had one of my other. I've got a nice pair of glasses somewhere. They're £1 from well, many shops. I get them from gyms in Penzance, and you can get them from Pound Busters, I think. Is it Pound Busters? Something like that. I hope you can hear the music. It's so beautiful, but I don't think it picks it up very well. So I need to learn how to edit this to put in a sound screen. Oh, he's ripping it up himself now because he's upset his patron. We must open a Patreon for Edouard, and then you can watch him creating art and life, or you can watch me creating life and art, I suppose, or just creating, you know. If you create, it's going to be life and art, isn't it? Even if it's a dead picture on a piece of paper, it's going to be art. And if it's a dance on the grass amongst the daisies, that's art and life. He's got a worried look on his face now.
No, I'm just...
You're worried about the glasses, or you're worried about the cigarette?
Neither. I'm worried about my picture here. One thing that I might add. You know, at the beginning when you asked me to show my work.
Yes.
And
oh yes, where's your portfolio? I want him to show me his etchings.
Let me just finish this idea. Why did I refuse at the beginning? It was because an image. It always changes.
Why did you refuse what?
Mind. Why I refused to show it?
To show what?
The drawing in the beginning.
Oh yes, that's right.
Michael?
Just 10 minutes ago. Can you remember that? Even I remember that 10 minutes ago. It's fucking amazing. I think my mind is coming back to me.
A picture always changes. One's with the thoughts of the one that is making it or the one that is looking at it. And I always want to give a final picture rather than one in progress, because one in progress is always It's always changing. It's like a river that flows. And for some river, I don't want to let anyone see the river other than myself. I'm quite
That's very
egoist.
selfish, isn't it? But
I am, but
if I'm watching a river, sorry, I'm going to take the fag out of my mouth so that I can speak more clearly. If I'm watching a river, I want to see the bloody river. I don't want to see the water. I don't want to see the water pouring into the hills and coming down and turning into a stream and a thing. I want the river. And similarly, the sea. I don't want fluid mechanics spoiling my view of the sea. I just want God in nature talking directly to me. There, his face is tranquil now. It's calm, it's concentrating. He's but you see, this is why Leonardo never finished his Mona Lisa, because he kept taking it round, and as his life changed, so his view of the woman changed. And as his view of the woman changed, the picture changed. It's very like the Harry Potter. You know those moving pictures in Harry Potter. I'm sorry, you're jiggling a bit. Let's. I'm trying to get the flowers in. There's my Christmas decorations. I've left them up. You see on the top of the frame. Do you see that, Eduardo?
yes,
My Christmas decorations. And I've got another one over here. We'll go for a little artistic tour of the gallery in a moment. But this is Tom did this. I don't know any more than his name is Tom. It's Fallen Blossom. Can you turn the light on, please, Eduardo? And then here is my work of art. Oh, there's Julia. Can you see Julia? She's your goddess now. She's been mine for some time. And then you've got Prometheus and the Muse and their baby, the little angel. And then there's me when I was a little angel and a baby. And there's my green crown of it represents all the earth. And I suppose I've got a sea crown as well. Oh, I know, I can show you the sea crown. Then the official crown that I was actually crowned in, the coronation crown, I've lost that one. I've actually mislaid the sea crown, so I'll put this one on you. Oh, I've got a hat on anyway. Get a hat to get ahead. You need a head first, don't you? You need a head first.
And the neck.
And a neck. But these days, apparently, they can stick your head on a computer. You know, like keep the blood and stuff going, blood and guts going. Pop you on a computer or in a glass jar or something, and then the head talks to the computer, and the computer talks to the head, and you are your own AI. It seems a very complicated way of doing things. I've lost my. This is rather small. Can you see it? I should be advertising the brand of tobacco. Do you know what brand of tobacco you smoke?
Anytime, anyone.
So what's in there at the moment? Do you buy the cheapest or the most expensive?
The cheapest.
Always the cheapest, you see. He's an artist.
Yes, I'm a bohemian.
He's a bohemian artist. Then why don't you grow your own? I'm going to grow my own tobacco in the back garden. Do you want to see the back garden? Just a glimpse. I can unplug. No, Mr. Ed, can I trouble you to help me light my cigarette, please? Because I can't see. Ow, and now I've burnt my fingers. That's not his fault. It's my fault for being so cheap and burning it down to the butt. You see, considerate smokers will, if they burn it down to the butts, they'll put it in an ashtray. And the council's really wonderful on ashtrays all around the street you've got these ashtrays. You can stub it out on the top of the waste bin and then put your butt into the bin. I'm surprised more litter receptacles, street furniture they call it in the trade, don't. Oh look, you see, I must have dropped a lighted ash here once. I'm sure that's the reason. I've got another one somewhere there, but that's the big one. You can see the glazing where it's burnt. I do like this top. It's I don't know why. It's probably my favorite top. And I don't know can anyone read the label? Look, there's the hole. You see you could say, if you're rude, you could say the cock sees the hole. And that's probably why it's so straight. It says, can you read this? Mainstay. I think it says mainstay.
Mainstream.
Mainstream. Mainstream. We want to go mainstream now. And I want to go on Pornhub because I think people like to there's too much porn on Pornhub, and I want this channel to be on Pornhub. Maybe I'll put the Emperor Selena on Pornhub, or the Duke Salonia. That might be nice. If somebody hasn't taken the channel already, if they have, I'll have to have real the Duke Salonia, or the real Duke Salonia, or something like that, or the real Emperor Selena, or the true Emperor Selena, or how else? If somebody steals your name, what else do you put? Oh, do we have a progress? We have a progress report from the artist. We have a finished work of art that you've watched being created. Whilst do you have the ashtray again, please? Oh, King, I never want. No. He's got the glasses on, and he's got the wrong bloody title. I'm not the king of the silly, and you've got mirror writing now, so you'll have to put it in a mirror, but I'll read it to you. It says King Michael of the Scilly Islands, and it's by Edward Macovey. M is a good letter to be in your surname with. Macovic. Macovey. Macovei. You need Morris Sarchi. You need to keep an eye on this one. You see, 5 minutes work or 10 minutes work. I look very severe. I hope I'm not that severe. And it's not finished because he hasn't put the fag in my mouth, or the vape. It depends. Oh, look, and he's put something interesting around here. Do you see around here the writing? What does the writing here say?
That's not the writing, it's the
zip.
The zip, yeah.
Oh, I thought, you see, if he was a clever artist, he'd have put his name and the title of the art in here. You could change that, couldn't you? I've got a pen. I've got a rubber. I had a rubber somewhere.
I have it here.
You see, and then you rub yourself out, and you rub me out, and you put in here, Michael John Harden, the Duke Salonia, Emperor Selena, and then somewhere else you cleverly put your signature, maybe. All right, you get the idea. It's a very good first attempt, but he's been practicing for all his life, probably. Why do you practice doing art? I mean, it's they keep trying to get me to, at the Dragon Cafe, they've got this art table where you've got these people well, I suppose they are doing art, but it's not Tracy Emin, it's not Banksy. Who's the most famous living artist at the moment? I know Bacon died.
The most famous. Damien Hirst.
Damien Hirst, apparently. Is he also the most expensive?
One of the most expensive.
One of. We must get Damien Hirst, although he just did dots in a restaurant, and a dead fish, didn't it? A shark in Aspic and a cow in Aspic. No, it wasn't in Aspic. It was in and it was, what's that stuff you preserve bodies with? What was the liquid he put his cow in?
Fahrenheit, or how is it called? Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Try again, please.
I don't recall it. I know the something.
It's like vinegar or something, but it went all cloudy, and obviously the bacteria got in, so he hadn't sealed it properly. Didn't know what he was doing. So I think they had to do a complete new shark. And I've read that shark's fin soup.
Michael.
Yes.
What's your title?
My correct title is, it's in the first video. It's.
You said before, Michael John
Harden. I'm looking for
Just
my.
a second. I really have to take this phone call.
This must be important. I've got a picture of Donald Trump and Theresa May hold press conference, watch live, and I've got a picture of the Mall with the flags up, and you see he's being dissed, as they say, because normally at a state, a proper full-blown state thing like Ceausescu got, you see, the Romanians got the full deal, the carriage ride down the Mall, and I think you'll find, you know, the circle of flags around the palace. Normally they interchange, so you have the Union flag on one pole, is it 3 or 4? It's 4. I wish I could show you this, but if you go to Donald Trump and Theresa, it's 5 hours. It must have been live streamed at 3 hours and 12 minutes. 3 hours and 13. It's about to go 13 minutes. 3 hours 13.00 seconds. People are crossing the street now. There's nothing happening in the street, but they're letting people cross the street. Somebody's got an umbrella, so it must be raining. That's not an auspicious sign for Donald Trump. So that alone tells me that something's not quite right here. And policemen in yellow jackets, I like them in the yellow jackets. I think they look sort of cheerful. And I like my police in yellow jackets. Perhaps they're running one of those French gilets jaunes operations subversively in plain view. And there's 3 policemen with their backs to me. They obviously don't know I'm watching. Otherwise, they'd have been sort of turning and saluting. Well, or not. They might have been waving their 4 fingers up, the one-fingered salute, because I'm a crap emperor. Well, I can't be worse at being emperor than I am at doing YouTubes, can I?
Michael, what do you think about Donald Trump?
I've followed him. We're going to go back live to the studios, so to speak, now. What do I think about Donald Trump? I've watched him with fascination since I lived in one of his buildings in New York, 100 Central Park South, apartment 9B. It sounds like Sherlock Holmes's apartment 9B. And he owned the building, but he had sitting tenants because of the law in New York, and they were all millionaires and billionaires, but they got a fair rent and they couldn't be thrown out because they had taken up occupancy before, I think, the law changed. And David Gervitz, he might have had sex with Julia, actually. He certainly tried often enough. And Faith, I encouraged her to steal some of his shoes because he wasn't paying her. He was having sex and not paying. He was what? He must have been 60 when I worked for him in New York. And
What more did you do in New York?
Sorry?
What did you do in New York?
What did I do? I did mainly ballet lessons. I thought I was going to be the world's greatest ballerina. Well, ballerino or ballero. And I was obsessed with ballet. And I advertised in the Village Voice, I think. I think it was waiter, butler to royalty. I mean, butler, waiter to royalty seeks position. And 3 people phoned up asking to be my butler. So American English is different to I wonder if there must be an archive of that particular advertisement somewhere. I'm reminiscing now, so forgive me. This is not the real imperial state crown. Well, you asked for my complete title. It's Our Celestial Divine Imperial. I'm not sure whether it should be Celestial Divine and Imperial Clemency. Clemency is the main thing. So it'll be Michael John Harden, I suppose. We keep the old name, or just Michael, or Michael John, or Michael John Harden. We'll have the whole thing. Michael John Harden, our. You think it should be his, you see, but it's an imperial we. We are always everybody. We represent every man, every woman, every child, every animal, every plant, every mineral, every. Well, I could be doing my Tai Chi now, couldn't I? How would we do that? You do this. You push the heavens down into the earth, and then you. What happens then? Then you get the universe in your hands, and you play with it a bit, and then you fire off and look into the distance, and this hand goes down. Can you see it? Sort of goes down to your waist, and this one goes out, and you look through your fingers at infinity. It's I still haven't. I'm no better at YouTube than I am at Tai Chi, to be perfectly honest with you. And I've got Tai Chi. I will. I promise. I will take you to Tai Chi later. Marvelous. He's rolling another cigarette. I wonder if he knows it's for me. He's so nice, isn't he? And it's amazing. You don't expect to find the court artist just randomly undecided at the gates of your imperial park. It just doesn't happen. It's not possible. I'll have a vape while I'm waiting for the real thing.
Yeah, Michael.
You see, you can vape mindfully. You couldn't light it, please, and just pass it over. It's easier, you see, that way. And then I don't burn my beard and what have you. Are you getting the picture? He was just in the side because I thought you'd want to see me more than Eduardo. But I'd like to give a little word now to my mentors. These are the people who went before me on live on YouTube. And so there's Jordan Sather. He caught my imagination the first time I saw him with his whiteboard. I was completely entranced by Jordan. He's so beautiful back then, but he's sort of grown older and wiser, I think. But he's kind of finished what he's got to say. It's all about aliens. It's all about aliens with Jordan. And health benefits. He should be advertising cigarettes because they're good for your health. The idea that they're good for my health.
They're good for the soul, Michael.
They're good for the soul, apparently, but you have to smoke mindfully. Well, you haven't got to, but you smoke mindfully, and you remember that it's an offering to the gods. Everything is an offering to the gods, not just the one God. I mean, he exists. The Christians have 3 one gods. The Muslims have one God. The Jews, Israelis, Jewish persuasion, those who may not be named, because they're the ones that control everything. It's just a conspiracy theory, but might be true. I wasn't thinking mindfully then. I was thinking about taking it in, holding it a little bit, and the smoke coming out, but I wasn't thinking, I'll do it again properly. Oh, something must be happening. Donald Trump, is he going up now? Yes, there he is. There's the beast with the flags. He's got the American flag on the right and the British flag on the left. And he's going up the side. He must be going into the back entrance. That's very strange. They're going into the back entrance of Buckingham Palace. You see, I knew they're trying to diss him. Make him go in. I'll tell you the time and you can look for it yourself. 3:22 and 30 seconds. So 3:22, that's the number. Oh no, they're going up Constitution Avenue. I remember watching Lord Mountbatten go up Constitution Avenue. It was the most exciting thing to watch cars moving. It's almost the complete forecourt of Buckingham Palace is empty apart from one pigeon. I'm surprised they didn't shoot the pigeon. Security these days, it's ridiculous. So we've gone past the Skull and Bones 322. We're now on 323. That's probably a significant number. So astrology, numerology, and gematria or gematria. That's my second muse. He's very arrogant and egotistical, and he's convinced he's right that the Masons are killing people by numbers and letters, and that all sports are fixed. So the first Sather, you go to YouTube, you type in Jordan Sather, JORDAN SATHER. That is Juliet, Oscar, Romeo, Delta, Alpha, November, Jordan, and then Sather, Sierra, Alpha, Tango, Hotel, Echo, Romeo, Jordan Sather. So he's come out first, so I suppose he must be first. But there are no winners in this game. Everyone's winner on YouTube. And I'm determined to be the first loser on YouTube. In fact, let me see how many subscribers I have. They seem to be obsessed with subscribers. Here we are. I'm going back to you. I'm coming back now. Bang, I'm in here now. But you didn't know that because you were seeing me when I was seeing something else. The cavalcade that is Donald Trump in London. But I think he wasn't in the cavalcade. Because he arrived at the palace by helicopter to avoid the adoring crowds. I need one of those ironic smiley faces with a comma and a dot and a bracket. to show that I'm really being a little bit, I've got sadistic coming into my mind, but it's not sadistic, sarcastic. Perhaps sadistic was the right word. Could you pass the ashtray again, please? You see, you can't see this. I'm going to show you an ashtray now. Can you see the ashtray? Julia collected. She used to collect things, you see. She'd collect toilet rolls and soap from the Queen's Hotel in Penzance, and she collected that ashtray from the top of the Eiffel Tower, the Jules Verne, or Jules Verne, Jules Verne, as we would say, but Jules Verne, Verne. I say Verne, and you say Verne. I could, you know, write a new verse for that song. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Potato was never right. Never, ever. It just, he should have tried harder to find a better rhyme. I'd have to ask Kevin who he is. You say either and I say either. You say neither and I say neither. Neither, neither, either, either. Let's call the whole thing off, 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 off. Because you can say off or off, off, off. It's a little bit off, don't you think? Now, you're getting bored.
No, I was thinking.
Where's the portrait? Is that's for the £10 that I owe you? Is that right? We're going to go to the cafe now, I think. I think it's marvelous. I'm going to have it framed, and this will be my this will be after I've been executed by the Taliban or somebody. This will be my head, and they can use that in their fake videos and prove that they've beheaded me. I think this is a nicer way of being beheaded. I'd rather be beheaded by an artist than a terrorist. But what's the difference, you know? You see, when was the last revolution about art? Nobody. Now what's happened? It's gone quiet. The live stream must have ended, or they switched.
Yeah, it ended.
No, it's gone black. This is strange. This is the algorithm telling me it's time to make a move. This is at 3:28. No, we've gone to live U, Sky News, NOC. A knock is something, isn't it? NOC, not on command. I could skip forward. I'm going to leave it. But can I commend to you before we go to the cafe? Is that all right? We'll go to the cafe and see if Jackie swears at me or merely screams at me. And there's a picture of the sky now. Oh, that looks like Mr. Beastie's flat. He used to have a flat there. He's David Hart. And he was, I'll tell you about David Hart. He ran the miners' strike from the government side. And Julia called him Mr. Beastie. And it was here, but they've knocked down the building. You can't see my arrow and you can't see what I'm looking at, but it's at 3:29 of Donald Trump and Theresa May hold press conference, watch live, and it's been posted by Guardian News. So they're wonderful. They're a free paper, and I did subscribe to them. And then when I was feeling poor, I unsubscribed, and now that I'm feeling rich, perhaps I can subscribe again. Right, this live stream is adjourned. I'll just get myself back to do a formal adjournment. This is an adjournment of the live stream, and Edward is looking a bit twitchy. Do you want to ask a question, or
No, I'm just concerned about my
pay
problems.
rise? Edouard has problems. We're going to do these in private, all right? And if necessary, we'll do another time, explain what his problems are and what his solutions and options are. But what he needs to do always, there's dust on my keyboard. Always, no, it's tobacco, I think. Always is to ask yourself 3 questions. The first, in fact, I sent off to Donald Trump and the Queen last night. Would they come onto the channel? You see, there's a Russian doll. Can you pass the Russian doll, please? Oh, we bought this back from Russia. It's a Russian doll. It's the Madonna and Child, a very popular thing. And then let's see who's in the.
Let me see.
We'll do
I'm Orthodox. So
he's more.
Saint Michael.
If you open
Saint Nicholas.
Do you want to open the others, and then we'll really stop and we'll sort your problems out, or you'll sort your problems out. I can't sort.
Well, it's Saint Nicholas, and after you open Saint Nicholas, there's
empty.
Well, there's a few things in here.
Oh, right.
A pin and an elastic.
And an elastic. They must be very important, otherwise they wouldn't be there. That's the way this thing. So the 3 questions are: what do you do? Why do you do it? And what do you expect to achieve by doing it? And my answers are: what do? I do as I please. Why do I do it? Because it makes me happy. And what do I hope to achieve? I hope to achieve the best. No, not hope to achieve. What do I expect to achieve? I expect to achieve the best possible world for plants, animals, minerals, especially crystals, and therefore for humans, which are animals anyway. Don't tell your husband, otherwise he might become one. Right, this is it. Official adjournment. One last, no, not even a last puff of the fag. Farewell until God be with you till we meet again. Now, how do I stop? End stream. Yeah. It's the same thing as before. Righto? Say goodbye, Edward.
Goodbye to everyone, citizens of the world.
7 billion of you, and I have 3 billion, 3.5 billion godchildren. It's an awesome responsibility, if I cared to take it seriously. Right, bye. Yes, of course, I'm sure I want to end the damn thing. Honestly.